Say in the today's session, we will create an auto-scaling group. So what is the concept of auto-scaling group is automatically we can scale up or scale down the resources. Means in this use case, it's an EC2 instance. Hence, we are calling as EC2 auto-scaling. Even we can do the load balancing for Lambda or containers, Kubernetes also we can do. But as of now, we are going to increase EC2 instances depends upon the load. So now first I'm going to create one instance. With the application, I will create this. So one Nginx application I'm going to take, but with application, we are going to take the AMI. From that AMI, we'll create launch template. And from the launch template, we are going to create the auto scaling group. MIEC2 auto scaling I have taken. Directly we can download the PPK also. Say 10 GB of the storage I'm giving. Number of instances is 1. Yeah. So now here I have created one EC2 instance. I'll connect to this instance and I'll deploy the static website fastly. I'm going to update it. I'm installing Nginx here. The Finexo is one of the website we are taking. So meanwhile, Nginx is installing. It's make sure like through systemctl, we need to start and enable the Nginx because this instance is going to be scale up into hundreds of instances also. If you don't enable Nginx systemctl in the 100 missions, each and every time, even if you create, we need to go and start that service. So hence, Nginx start that Nginx also. Then I'm going to copy this website into var www html. I'm going to download this. The wget is the command to download that zip file. I need unzip also. Then I got finexo.html. I don't want finexo.html. I rename to Finexo. Then I'm going to copy or move. I can use Finexo to var ww html. Okay. So then I'll go to that instance security group also. Edit inbound rule. So for the high availability, like even now IPv6 also is recommended to open. Okay. Otherwise, that only available for IPv4 users only. IPv6 users also have added. Save that rules. Then I need to go to that instance. Public IP. Finexo. So this is with the website we have. Now what I want to do is, say we have Ubuntu. On top of Ubuntu, I have installed Nginx, and I have set up an Finexo app also I have set up. Now I'm converting into this AMI. Then I'll create either launch template or launch configuration. Then I'll create the auto scaling group. So these are all the things we are going to perform. Now I have an instance. So these are all the steps I have performed. Now I'm going to convert that instance into an AMI. This AMI is our own AMI. Then I'll go to that instance, go to actions, image and templates, create an image. Say with the Ubuntu, Nginx, and Finexo app. And it required one reboot, better to restart also. Okay, then as of now, we have only one instance volume. If that instance having multiple volumes, we need to decide whether only root volume we want or additional volume also we want. But as of now, we have only one 10 GB size general purpose EBS volume, and the general purpose also it's a GP3. Then I'm going to create the image. So once the image has been created, I need to create the auto scaling group. Okay, so if I go and see in the AMIs, okay, this I'm going to create. Meanwhile, I'll explain, say this AMI takes some time to create, let it create. Then after that AMI have been created, we need to create the auto scaling groups. So we need to create the auto scaling groups. Okay, so what is the concept of auto scaling group is? Autoscaling always helps us to maintain the right number of EC2 instances depends upon the load. If you have more load, it can maintain more number of instances. And if you have less load, it's having the less number of instances. With this, the overall budget can be reduced. And if there is any sudden spike of users we got or load we got, like autoscaling easily will scale up. Hence, the application is always highly available also. Okay, so now while creating the auto scaling group, here we need to specify minimum number, desired number, and maximum number. Okay, so at the time of creation, what is the desired number it will create? And even in sometimes the worst case, we can go for the minimum number also. In some use cases, we can give minimum number and desired number can be same also. Okay, so in this they have given only one minimum number, desired is 2, maximum is 4. Okay, so when we are going to scale out, that 2 may become 3 or 3 may become 4 also. Okay, so the advantage is always the application is highly available, fault tolerance, and cost management. So these are the advantages we are going to get with auto scaling, and load balancers, like load balancing is going to be provided by load balancers. Okay, so in order to create an auto scaling group, we need launch template or launch configuration. As of now, we have launch template only. Launch configuration is not supported. So then here I'm going to create an auto scaling group. Okay, so then I'll call that as Finexo auto scaling for that application. Okay, so then definitely launch template is required. So now here they have given one message, right? For the accounts created after May 31st, 2023. Now the EC2 new console is not supporting launch configuration. They're supporting only launch template itself. And if you have the launch configuration, it's migrated to launch templates. Okay, so then here I need to create a launch template. Okay, so we are going to create multiple number of EC2 instances. For that, like launch template is defining like one set of settings. The same settings would be applied to hundreds of missions also. Then I'll call this as Finexo app. Okay, so then I need to give the version or maybe prod, and this I'm going to give as a initial version. Later also we'll do some changes. Okay, so then here source template. As of now, we don't have any source template, but I'm going to choose my own AMIs. Okay, so my own AMIs. So my Nginx Finexo. I'm not using clean Ubuntu AMI. Definitely it's recommended to go with your own application. Already we have an AMI. In that I'm going to use. Now, what is this instance type? What is this instance type? Okay, for the auto scaling missions, what is the instance type we need to use? This here we are going to specify. Okay, for the EC2 instances, what is the mission we need to specify? That's we need to give here. Okay, so then as of now, I'm not including in the launch template this setting. That meaning is at the time of auto scaling, I can use. Say, I'll tell one example. When I don't include that in my launch template is if my template want to use by multiple auto scaling groups. Okay, the same template I want to use by multiple auto scaling groups. Okay, so then for dev, I want to use auto scaling for only 2 to 4 servers only, and I want to use T2.micro itself. But for the production, I don't want to use 2 to 4. I want to use 20 to 400 instances, and I don't want T2.micro. I want M7 something higher hardware, higher instance type I want. Then I'm not including that here. Okay, this instance type, when I will choose, when I'm going to choose the auto scaling, at that moment, I'm going to select that. Okay, so then I'm going to choose the key pair also. Key pair also, I'm not including this in the template. So where I can choose that. Yeah, so that in that while configuring the auto scaling, I can choose. Otherwise, if I choose these in the template, auto scaling also need to use the same resources. Hence, the best practice is whenever the template need to be reusable, don't include some values in your template. At the time of auto scaling, you can choose. Okay, then subnet also I'm not including. Otherwise, I'll choose the subnet here itself. So I'm choosing the default subnet itself. Okay, security group also here I'm choosing. Otherwise, you can create a new security group or existing security group. Okay, so now for all these missions, the same security group will come. Even in the real time, these also we can remove here and you can choose from the auto scaling. So I'm creating this and I'm going to allow the HTTP for those. I'm adding an inbound security rule. Say 80 from anywhere I have given. So otherwise here itself I can choose the HTTP itself. I'm not adding as of now 22 also. That means I can't take as of now 22. Okay, if you want, you can add a new rule also. So what AWS recommend is actually subnets, these all not recommended to keep in the template. Okay, so then we don't get the reusability. So we'll see, otherwise we'll remove that subnet also. So what it is telling, remove the subnet from. It is telling remove the subnet for auto scaling. Okay, so not applicable for auto scaling. That means I'm not including this at the time of. I'm not including as of now. Security group also I'm not adding. At the time of auto scaling, we'll create. As of now, we are creating what? Launch template we have. But previously, we used to create launch configuration also. But as of now, launch configuration end of life has been already declared by AWS. Okay, so now which resource has been created is launch template. So now from this template, I'll refresh. Then in my drop down, I'll get that template. Okay, and the version we got is version 1. So tomorrow, if you got any changes, you can upgrade this version. Then all the hundreds of missions also can automatically upgraded. This versioning concept is not supported in the launch configuration. It is supported only in launch template only. Then at the time of at the time of EC2 instance, I'm choosing here why I'm getting these options is I didn't choose which instance type I want. Okay, so now here I'm going to choose the minimum number is 1 CPU, maximum also I'm choosing 1. So in the real time we'll use more. Okay, so then automatically depends upon this. It is going to create the instances. Okay, so then CPU manufacturers. I'll choose the Intel itself. As of now, no matching because we're given very less resources, right? Then what I'll do is I'll add that in the launch template itself. So here we need to choose high end, but I don't want to go with other than T2.micro. But here they're not giving that. I'll go to launch template. So here we have the launch templates. That is not the templates. Actually, here we should have the template. Yeah. Modify template. I'm creating a new version. It's a prod 2. Normal, we need to give the new version. And instance type here itself I'm including. T2 dot micro. Keep a remaining all I'm not including. So I'm going to create a new version of this in my auto scaling. In Ec2 app, I'm choosing version 2. So the main difference is in the launch configuration, they didn't support versioning, but in the launch template, they have supported the versioning also. Okay, so then instance T2.micro we are getting. Even if you create 100 missions also, it is going to use the same instance type it is creating. Then VPC, and here I'm choosing the subnet. Okay, so here I'm there it's not allowed to choose the subnet. Then next. So now here, as of now, we are not attaching to a load balancer, but in the real time, definitely will attach to an existing load balancer or attach to a new load balancer. Definitely, all these auto scalings need to be attached to a load balancer itself. Isolatedly by keeping auto scaling, the user directly can't connect to those instances. Definitely, we need a load balancer. But as of now, we are not using a load balancer. Going forward, we'll create a load balancer also. VPC lat is not required as of now. Health check also very, very important. I will explain this in the load balancing. And what is the meaning of health check is, if you have any problem with the EC2 instance in the auto scaling group, and if that health check is not correct, that automatically removed from the auto scaling and new instance is creating automatically. That is the reason always the applications are highly available. Okay, so which image it takes is that AMI, it's always in the working condition. And for the real time, definitely we need to enable metrics also. Okay, and we need to enable it warm up. By default, the warm up we need to give around 300 seconds. What is the meaning of warm up is? Say now, say suppose one like a server terminated. In order to start up the new service, new server, we need to give some warm up time also. Okay, so that's a cool down period also we will call. Okay, and health check also it would be checking for every 300 seconds. Then next. So now here this setting is very, very important. We need to specify desired number, maximum number, and minimum number. Desired I'm keeping as of now 2. Minimum I'm keeping 1. Maximum I'm going to keep 10. But it won't create 10 instances unless that load have been conditions have been specified. Then here you can use the no scaling policies. Okay, so that means there is no use because it's not going to scale up, but we need to use the target tracking scaling policies. Okay, so now here you can use the no policy. And what is this also I will explain. I'm going to use the target tracking scaling policy. So now here in the target tracking scaling policy, 4 important metrics are there. these metrics based on this, we are going to scale up. We have the average CPU utilization, network input, and network output. So based on this, I'm going to use the average CPU utilization. Normally, I'll choose maybe 60% or 70% in the real time in order to scale up. Okay, but in our environment, for testing purpose, I'm going to give 5. Okay, what is the challenge if I use only 5 here? Unnecessary resources are getting wasted. Say you have 100 pages book, if you use only 5 pages and if you throw out, what is the problem? Your resources are wasting or
Resource
not?
will be waste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the reason. Here we are not throwing after 60%. We are keeping, once we got the 60%, we are keeping some more servers ready. Okay, that means if you have 2 servers are desired, right? The 2 will become 3 also. Okay, so like this, we can configure the scaling. And what is the scaling we have chosen is target tracking policy, and metric we have chosen is average CPU utilization. Here we don't have metric for CPU, but network input, how many bytes, average network output from the server, what is the traffic is coming. If more requests are coming means more network input. From the server to outside, more data is going, that would be more network output. Or load balancer load also. So now, if I have a load balancer, as of now, we don't have the load balancers, but if more users are there, okay, then I may choose more number of servers. But in this, as of now, I'm using CPU utilization and 60% or 70% will give in the real time. But for testing purpose, I'm giving here 2% itself. Okay. But in the real time, that is very, very tough or waste of resources unnecessarily. Okay. So then instance maintenance policy. If any of the instances have been deleted, as of now, no policy. Launch before terminating. What is this meaning of launch before terminating is, assume one instance is reducing or terminating new instances. Then say suppose I'll tell one use case. In the job for experienced people, why will have the notice period for 60 days or 70 days or 90 days is before like this employee leaves, they need to take a new employee, he need to join, he need to get some KT. So that is the reason they will take the 60 days or 90 days notice period. So now, if the importance of the priority is there, then you choose this option, launch before terminating. That means before terminating the current instance, a new instance need to launch, then only this instance will be terminated. I want to cut down the cost, then what I will choose? Terminate and launch. That means first I'm terminating the existing instance. Then later I'm going to launch but we'll have a 300 seconds warm up time, right? There, like we'll have some downtime maybe there sometimes. Okay, but cost is important. If priority is more important or high availability is more important, then choose this option. If the cost is more important, choose this. If you have like flexibility, even we can choose. As of now, for the production, better to choose this one. Okay, high availability is the best. Okay, so then instant scaling, like uh, say we are initially at the time till the time of starting, it is protecting not getting terminated because the health check is not matching because still that is in the starting. Then auto scaling may assume that server is unhealthy, it may remove. That is the reason it is we are protecting this one. Okay, better to enable this. If you enable this, it won't terminate at the time of startup. Okay, so then in the real time, definitely we need to enable notifications also. For the notifications in this, we are going to use the use case is SNS notification, and that shoot an email for us like this auto scaled or auto scale have been reduced like this. Okay, so then I'm going to choose next, finish. Okay, so create an auto scaling, but in the production environments, definitely we need auto scaling with the load balancer. Okay, so as of now, we have created only auto scaling. We didn't choose any load balancer, but for the production, definitely we need a load balancer also. Going forward, we'll discuss even that load balancers also. So now here we have the Finexo app, and here just go through this activity, auto scaling, instance management, monitoring, instance refresh. So these all the options. You try to, like, if you want to do any rolling updates, these all so through the versioning we can do the rolling update also. So now in the instance management, how many instances you are expecting? One or two? So two instances are getting created in this use case. So two
Yeah,
instances are getting, because the desired number we have given 2. So we have given desired number is 2. Okay, so now here 2 instances, but very soon this 2 also is going to become 3 or 4 also, because we have given the CPU utilization condition is very small, 2%. Mostly without using any load also, the CPU may reaches 2% of the load. In the real time, we shouldn't give that much smaller numbers. Realistic number may be 60 to 70% like that we need to give. Okay, so now both the instances also healthy also, but still that load balancer will check whether that instance is healthy or unhealthy. If in unhealthy, what is going to happen? If that is unhealthy, what is going to happen?
Based on the
That server is going to be removed from the auto scaling, terminated, and a new instance is getting launched. It depends upon our conditions. Okay, so now I'll go to EC2. So definitely 2 instances. As of now, 1 instance is this one. I can delete this instance, no need, because that's already AMI have been converted, but we'll keep this AMI also. Now what I'm doing is try to understand, this is created through auto scaling, right? Okay, so it still is initializing. I'll go to that instance state. I'm terminating that instance. Okay, so but here the problem now is, what is the minimum number we have specified? 1 only, right? Then
one.
that 1 instance also it may run, because minimum is 1, desired is 2. Okay, then this 1 instance also may be running. Okay, then even if I delete this instance also, then auto scaling will identify no instances are running. Okay, then it is going to create a new instance. So both are getting shutting down, right? So now what is the expectation? Auto scaling need to recognize, as of now minimum number is not matching, then automatically it need to scale up 1 instance. So now who is responsible for this? The auto scaling is responsible for that. So why it is taking this time is, we'll have a duration of 300 seconds warm-up time. Within the time, it is going to start up. That is the reason don't keep very less numbers like 2 instances, 4 instances. Okay. And don't keep 90% of the CPU, because in the last moment, it takes more time to load. So if all the servers are reaching 90% means we have a good business on that, on those servers. Means we have a good load means, so we're having good business. So now here 1 instance is initializing, right? Who is initializing this? Who is initializing?
auto scaling.
Yeah, auto scaling itself is initializing. As of now, the 2 number is not coming, but as of now, in the worst case, it will take care that minimum 1 number itself. Okay, so I hope you understand the difference between desired and minimum, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and everyone try to configure one SNS notification. What SNS notification need to do? What SNS notification need to do? If any of the auto scaling has been initialized or scaled down, it need to send an email for us. Okay, it need to send an
Email
email.
for everyone.
These two have been terminated, but still auto scaling has been created one more instance. And after like this instance started running and it wait for some time, that CPU we have given only 2%, right? Then auto scaling need to scale up one more also. Like this, it can be scale up more number of instances till the maximum number we have specified. More than maximum, it is not possible. Okay, so the maximum we are going to specify. My expectation is like within 3 to 5 minutes, one more instance will start because we have given CPU utilization is only 2%. So now if you see here, the second instance also has been started. Now who has started this? Auto scaling itself, but it's not based on desired number. It's based on that CPU have been reached that
limit or load.
that limit, right? 2% to test that we have given here. Then in your practice, you give 2 for minimum and desired, give CPU percentage 2% or 3%, then check whether the 2 will become automatically 3 or not. Okay. So then when I want to delete this, don't delete at the instance level because it's waste of time. Still, auto scaling is keep on creating those instances. So a lot of people will do one mistake is they will delete from the auto scaling groups. Don't delete from there. If you want to delete the auto scaling group itself, you delete. You got that right? If you delete from the EC2 instances, still auto scaling would be creating the minimum number. Okay, so hence at end of the session, everyone delete the. So as of now, here we have the launch configuration also, but they're telling from the new console, they're not provisioning launch configurations. If you have the older launch configurations, here you can see those. But what AWS recommending is you migrate those launch configurations to launch template itself. So now I have deleted my auto scaling itself. Okay. And to reduce the cost, I'm going to delete that AMI also. This AMI also, I'm going to like deregister that AMI. Maybe that instance is in use. Yeah, that's deleted. Okay. So like this, once your work is done, clean up. What is the assignment I have given? I'm giving is create a third version of that also and upgrade all the auto scaling groups to the third version we need to upgrade. That means auto scaling, it need to create a launch template with the third version. When we'll do the update is on the existing EC2, like we have assume today date is October 1st, 2024. Okay. On October 10th, I got the new changes. Then I'm 100 instances are running. I no need to upgrade 100 missions. Then create a new template. Already we have 2 versions, third version. Then promote the auto scaling group into the third version. Then what is going to happen is all the instances would be promoted to the third version. The existing instances are getting terminated. The new instances are getting terminated, newly created. At that moment, that maintenance policy will help. Before those instances need to be terminated, or first to create the new instances or keep the old instances. That depends upon our budget. We need to specify that we have the maintenance policy, right? If the high availability is required, then we'll keep those servers. We'll terminate after the new instances has been created. Or if you want to reduce the cost, first to terminate, then the new instances from the newer template is getting created. Okay, so that assignment I'm giving for you. Say in the next sessions, we'll discuss the load balancing also. Because auto scaling only doesn't give you the high availability load balancing. Definitely we require a load balancer also. Okay. Any doubts on this?
No, sir.
Okay, sure. Then tomorrow we'll discuss more on that load balancer part. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Everyone try to create auto scaling groups.
Yes, Srikanth. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.